Hello, everybody, and welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. So excited you're here today with my amazing guest, Rachel Druckenmiller. You do not want to miss her. She is amazing. And so make sure you tune in, share with your friends. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, Michelle Martin and Farmers Insurance, The Oaks at Lebanon, and Aspects of Aging and Christine Smith. For more information on Farmers Insurance and Michelle Martin, call 541-981-2616. And for more information on the Oaks at Lebanon and their assisted living and retirement, go to LebanonRetirement.com. And for more information on Christine Smith and the Aging Better Network and Aspects of Aging, go to AgingBetterNetwork.com. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Woohoo! Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. So glad to be with you today. I can't even tell you. Every Monday when I wake up, I am so blessed. Every day I wake up, I'm so blessed, but Mondays are just my favorite. I know so many people think they dread Mondays, but you know what? It's the start of a new week. It's something exciting for me. I get to see amazing people like Rachel, who's going to be on with me today. And I love it. I love these opportunities. And I'm so thankful all of you are here. I'm so thankful for this community. And I am so blessed. So glad you're all here today. And right off the bat, for those that are already joining us this morning, please share this and tag your friends and let people know immediately that we're on, that Rachel's going to be on. Marketing with Russ is happening. And I know everybody's busy. It's Monday morning, but spread the word. And I just appreciate that so much from all of you today. You know, it's such a blessing to be able to have fun and do things like this with my friends. And I'm blessed with so many amazing friends like Rachel that I can get together with and just have a chat, you know, and you could get so much value because Rachel is so she has so much amazing things that she does and has done in her life that you need to know about. And if you don't already know her, I'm going to encourage you today, make sure and get in contact with her today. So want to tell you all how thankful I am. Just want to remind you for our sponsors, Farmers and Michelle Martin, the Oaks of Lebanon, Aspects of Aging, Christine Smith. We are so blessed to be able to continue to do this because of amazing people like that. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode of Marketing with Russ, I would be so honored and blessed if you'd reach out to me. It's super simple. The best way, really, just go to russedge.com, and all the ways to contact me are there, and you can find it, and I would be so thankful for that. Also, want to let you know that we are also listener supported besides sponsor supported. If you would like to be part of putting this out and continuing the positive message, we would love if you would scan the QR code or the link that is in the comments. You can click on that and you can give any amount you would like. We'd appreciate that. It goes all towards the production of Marketing with Russ and my live stream. So thank you so much for that. Again, russedge.com is the best place to get a hold of me. I love to connect. I'm a true believer that connection and community building is the foundation of any good marketing plan, any good business. So I really think it's any good life, honestly. So I'm all about connection and community building, and connecting with me would be so great. You can connect on any social media. You can even schedule time directly on my calendar. Love to Zoom with you if you have the opportunity. So thank you so much for that. What is Marketing with Russ all about, you ask? Well, if you've never been here before, we are all about, let's see here, let's go backwards. There you go. We're all about how amazing people connect. All about connection and community building. So, like I said, this is about marketing with Russ, but marketing your life is all about connecting with others. You build the people, and then the people build your business, just like Zig Ziglar says. And I so strongly believe that every day. Plus, it's just a heck of a lot of fun, right? Love to connect with people. I love people. It's so great. Another great way you can connect with us is you can subscribe to the YouTube page. That would be amazing. Much better. Subscribe to the YouTube page today by going to marketingwithruss.live. I keep it simple. If you know the name of the show, you can go directly to my YouTube page by typing in marketingwithruss.live. In fact, open a separate tab if you have not subscribed already. Click on it, subscribe to Marketing with Russ and all of my live streams on my YouTube page. There is so much value, hundreds and hundreds, going on thousands of different guests and different shows. We just celebrated 500 shows a few shows ago here on Marketing with Russ. We celebrated 200 shows on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. We have got all kinds of live streams for you. Russ Reels Live is up there. Everything that you can get some amazing value from people. So would love for you to do that. So again, my website is my name and the YouTube page is the show. Pretty simple, right? They say repetition is good. Did I say that the website is my name and that the YouTube is this show? There you go. Love it again if you share this out and tag your friends. We're going to have so much fun today. It's going to be great time. So also, every Monday and Thursday, we do a marketing tip of the day. And so we're going to do that here in just a second. That gets cut out, put it out on YouTube Shorts, all the social media separately. You can actually grab a hold of that and share that separately, or just watch it again after the show is over. And I would love for you to do that. So, all right. But before we get to that, I want to remind you that Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, my first book, is available along with my 4 anthology collaborative books that are international bestsellers, #1 on Amazon. Love for you to get one of those. And my new book is coming out this year. Life Happens and Then You Choose. So it'll be out in the fall of this year. So looking forward to that. And so thanks so much for all those who have been patient with my health challenges. Thank you for your prayers, by the way. It's taken me a little longer than I thought, but we're going to get that done this year for sure. Feeling better. God is good, and I'm ready to roll. So, okay. Last but not least is our marketing tip of the day. This is in honor of my guest. She's all about being unmuted and getting out there and taking action and being bold. So here you go. Are you ready? This is your marketing tip of the day. Be bold. That's right. Be bold. Get out there, take action, take that next step forward, do something, be bold and go beyond what you think you can do. Push through your fears. The fear is not the absence. Courage is not the absence of fear, but courage is a willingness to break through that fear and do it anyway. So be bold today. As Rachel would say, be unmuted and get out there and use your voice, use your talents, use your abilities to do something special. You can make an impact on people today. You can make an impact on your world. You could be a world changer. You could be a difference maker, as I say. And I would love for you to do that today. And if I can encourage you, I am here for you at russhedge.com today. And so get out there, be bold. And that is your marketing tip of the day. All right, there we go. That'll get cut out separately. And I am so excited to get Rachel in. So we're just going to get this party started. Here she comes. Ta-da!
Hello. Ta-da.
Hey, how is Rachel?
How are you from the East Coast? Hello.
Yes, yes, a few hours ahead of me today. So I'm
Yeah.
looking into my future. And yes, I always love when I'm talking to my friends in Australia when it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're talking to them. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
seems to be looking into your future. But
It's very trippy. It's like, oh, it's Tuesday. Okay. But it's
yeah,
Monday.
yeah, really, very, very, very interesting. But well,
Yeah.
listen, it is so great to see you today. And we're just going to start off. I mean, everybody knows who you are pretty much, but for the one or two people that may not know you, who is Rachel Druckenmiller? What are you up to?
Yeah, so I'm a keynote speaker and a singer-songwriter, and I'm also an aspiring author. So I'm working on my first book, which is going to come out in the fall of next year.
Woohoo!
Super excited about that. I travel around the country. I do events that reach audiences around the world, and I help to bring out better, I have to bring out purpose and passion and potential in leaders and organizations, associations, and teams. And I absolutely love what I do, and I do that through speaking, through facilitation, through training, through singing, and I really am loving this life that I'm living. So that's what I do. And I see Tim, our friend Tim, is here. Hi, Tim.
Yes, Tim is here. I love the fact that you have really been bold and stepped forward and done some amazing things. Not because people, you know, said you should or shouldn't, because you just knew you could and you pushed through and you did what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're enjoying life because you're doing the things that God has really purposed in your heart. You're moving forward and you're making things happen. And I just think that is amazing. And I want to tell you, we're going to talk about the singing really quickly because I love all that you're doing with the singing. And I was just thinking about you the other day. When your first song came out, didn't you have a billboard in Times Square that went up?
So it was my third song. So that was just in December.
Third
So my
song.
first song came out 2 years ago. So January of 23, somebody. And I released 2 other songs that year. One was called Light Bulbs. And this past December, my song Light Bulbs, my music video for that song was on a billboard in Times Square. Yeah.
That is so awesome. I meant to talk to you about that because I was my son, who's a professional musician, one of his clients that he did all the music, or he worked on the music with, is a pretty big time performer, and he was just up in Times Square, and it was the music
Amazing.
that my son had produced, and so it made me think about you because I remembered seeing that
Yeah.
picture of your thing up in Times Square, and that is so cool. So anyway, we'll talk more about that later. But so talk to everybody a little bit since we're talking unmuted.
Yeah.
What did it take for you to really get unmuted? Because you weren't so bold when you were younger as far as singing, and you really came out of your shell, made things happen. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. And then I'm happy to share from the marketing standpoint too, how I've used it to differentiate myself, because I think that's super relevant to your audience.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was a kid, I was very shy and guarded and self-conscious, and I was afraid of letting people hear my voice. I was even afraid of hearing my voice. So I would listen to music. I'd put on big headphones and I'd put in cassette tapes, and I would turn the volume up so loud that I was listening to, so that I couldn't hear the sound of my own voice singing, which might contribute to some of the hearing loss I have now at 40. But but I was very self-conscious, and for me, I think it takes a series of things to help us get unmuted. One is people encouraging us. So when I was a senior in high school, I had a friend who really did enjoy singing, and she was in the concert choir and she took voice lessons, and she would sing publicly. I would not. And she said, "You should take private voice lessons." And I thought, well, why would I do that? I'm not performing for anybody. Like, what would I take? What would be the point, And so I took a year of private voice lessons, and my instructor said, I remember she said, "What song are you going to sing at the year-end recital?" Because all of my students pick a song. And I thought, oh, I think we have a misunderstanding about why I'm here. And I picked Angel, like the song by Sarah McLachlan, like "In the Arms of the Angel," like that song. I sang that, but I enjoyed no part of it. I felt like my jaw was locked. I think I kind of blacked out. I could not wait to sit down. I wanted to be done. And so I want to paint a picture of that compared to fast forward 3 years in my junior year of college. I do something I never thought I would do, and that is live abroad in Spain for a semester. I'd never been outside of the United States. I grew up in Maryland, have never been further west than West Virginia at that time in my life. And, you're pretty far away from West Virginia. So I was in this spot where I immersed myself in a new environment. And sometimes that's what I find it takes to give us the courage to do something that we never thought we could do, is when we say yes to something that feels like a bit of a stretch. What that does is I find that it's like confidence is compounding. So confidence is the byproduct of action. You get more confident the more you do a thing that you're scared to do. And then confidence is compounding. The more you do one thing and prove yourself that you can do it, then you have a little more courage to do the next thing, and then a little more courage to do the next thing, and then a little more courage to do the next thing. And then you can get to the point where you feel a greater sense of confidence, and that courage grows. So that trip is what gave me the courage to audition for a solo in the gospel choir when I came back. And I mean, that was 20 years ago that audition happened. And then it's taken quite a bit of time for me to start to weave that into what I do publicly online and my keynotes. But it's been a differentiator. It's actually helped me get business.
Yeah. I think, this is what I think is amazing, how you've weaved it into all that you do. And when you do your keynotes, you sing a little bit, I know.
Yeah.
And it inspired me. I want to tell you, you inspired me because we have a little different, let's just say that I was not shy and been in music and performing my whole life. So I was not shy growing up, and I was singing and doing stuff and doing solos, and it didn't bother me. Right. And it's unfortunate now in this time of life, I can't sing as much, mostly because I can't hear the chord anymore. My hearing is diminished to the point where I can't actually hear the whole chord. And so I'm afraid what might actually come out when I sing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was going to say that's a side point. But the thing that where you inspired me was, and I do actually do this still a little bit because I can sing a little bit still. I was talking about the importance of time, and that song, time keeps on slipping into the future. I want to fly like an eagle. And I was trying to inspire them. So I actually sang the first line of the song, and I put my arms out to everybody, and everybody sang, I want to fly like an eagle. And cool. I thought, this is great. I mean, it's kind of fun to do those kind of things. I do a lot of interaction when I do my keynotes, but you inspired me because I thought, Rachel's singing all the time. It would be kind of fun just to do just a little thing, and people love it. It really draws them in, when you're doing that. So I think that's what's amazing about you is you've learned, obviously you're wildly talented, but you've learned that it's fun. People enjoy it, and they love you sharing because it makes them think, wow, maybe I could do something like that,
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And that's the goal is when people see us doing something that they deem as brave, it kind of, it helps them see what's possible in their own life, to your point. So I love that you do that. And I'm doing it on Thursday too. I have a keynote. I'm going to be talking about how during the pandemic, I started sharing videos of singing, and to uplift people basically. So I would share things like Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase. Or, I would do, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be a friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So I'm doing that, but I weave it in as part of telling a story. So it's sort of,
Well, I think that, and again, you inspired me on that because I think that's just it. I mean, like I am talking about points, and then I've used that, and I'm actually using that this Thursday. I'm speaking to a senior community, but there'll be people of all ages, but not super young people. I did learn one thing, however. I did learn that you need to make sure that you understand the demographic and the age of your audience.
You do.
So I was speaking to the what is it? The Future Business People of America. They're high school students, right? And I was talking about something, and I said, and then just like Phil Jackson, and everybody looks at me with these blank stares, and I go, you guys do know who Phil Jackson is, right? And they look at me. Does anybody know Phil Jackson? Out of like 300 kids, one raises their hand. I'm thinking, oh my goodness. I said, well, you know, Michael Jordan's coach, Kobe Bryant's coach. Does anybody know? Everybody knows Michael Jordan, right? And only about 5 people raise their hand. I'm like, you're kidding me. I thought everybody knew Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I learned, and then I told him about my son who had just produced a Grammy, was just up for a Grammy for doing artist who was up for album of the year.
Amazing.
And I mentioned the name of the artist who actually was and it was Doja Cat, who my son had produced her album. And people just went crazy. These kids did, right? So you got to be careful who you're singing to them, because if I sang Fly Like an Eagle to high school kids, they'd look at me like, yeah, I have no idea what you're saying.
Yes, you have to know your audience. It changes how you show up, you know. Shout out to cassette tapes. It does change because the thing is, you know, Hakuna Matata is a phrase that like everybody knows. Yeah. And Lean on Me is kind of an evergreen song too. Like people have heard those songs. You know, so I can weave those things in, and Somewhere Over the Rainbow, sometimes I sing that full song in my keynotes, and my cover of that is coming out this month, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, to your point, it's really important to know your audience, and even to know that like that can be, if it's helpful, I can share a story of how like using LinkedIn to show the singing thing was actually a differentiator that's helped me book business, in case that's helpful for anybody that might want to think about what their differentiator is. I'm happy to share that.
Well, and see, this is what I love too, is you're differentiating yourself. You're doing something that not everybody's doing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that could do that are not, that, you know, it just really sets you apart. And it also makes you very interesting to listen to. When you're a keynote speaker, you've got to be interesting, right? If you want people to be interested, you need to be interesting, right?
Right. Yes.
And so that is a key point. And that is part of How to Win Friends and Influence People book, a timeless book that everybody should read. Yeah. But okay, so let's talk a little bit more. I've got all kinds of things I'd like to go, but my brain's splitting off, and our time is almost, our time is running out.
Yeah.
I was going to mention one thing. I will mention this to you because my beautiful wife traveled and sang with a group years ago. She wrote a song and it had a clip of Somewhere Over the Rainbow in it, but the whole song was her song, and added in that little bit, and it tied in. And I love that song, by the way. I've heard you sing it. You do an amazing job with that. Oh, but it's fun to do those kind of things. So anyway, I digress. So your keynotes, how was it similar to the singing that really took, you know, to get you unmuted and pushed into the speaking? Because you weren't a big up in front of people speaking person either when you were younger, right?
No, but if I knew something, I was the kid who would raise my hand first to answer the question. So I was if I knew something, I wanted people to know that I knew. So like if I had an answer to a question, I would raise my hand, and I would contribute that way. And when I was in college, I actually did research with a professor, and I was invited to go speak at conferences when I was in college. And so I would go present my research with her. It wasn't to big groups of people. It was in a small room where people had their own original research and whatnot. But I started speaking technically, you know, when I was in college. And then once I got out of school and I was working at a benefits consulting firm, I was asked, it was in 2008, I think, a client of ours, I was helping her company with their wellness programming, and she was an adjunct professor in the human resources program at my alma mater, where we both had gone. And she said, I have a unit on workplace wellness. Can you come teach it? I can pay you $75. And I was like, $75?
Wow.
I mean, I'm making like 35 grand a year just out of college, student loans, car payment, first relationship. I have nothing, like don't have 2 pennies to rub together by the time all my bills are paid. And I said, sure. So I went and I did it, and it went so well that she asked me back. And then I started getting asked to speak at other things. I would insert myself to speak. I would reach out to people that I know were doing things, and I would get on panels and webinars and started to share the things that we were doing within our company. And then I turned my health around through the power of food in probably 2014. I got I started a food blog called Rachel's Nourishing Kitchen. I got trained in culinary nutrition. I would teach cooking demonstrations. I started doing all of these things. And then about a decade ago, I started speaking to HR groups, and then kind of that grew and grew and grew. So I've actually been more comfortable speaking in front of people for way longer than I've been comfortable singing in front of people, because there's just a certain degree of vulnerability that comes with singing that to me is not the same. I'll be very vulnerable sharing things as a speaker, stories, thoughts that I've had, things that most people wouldn't admit aloud to other people. I've done a lot of therapy and a lot of coaching, so I'm okay talking about those things. But for some reason, the singing, I go back to being 9 years old and like, is this okay? Am I good enough?
Yeah. Well, I think that is true. I mean, we talk, about limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome and all that thing, and people thinking they're just not good enough. And that's not that. I mean, some people on American Idol maybe should listen to that, but most overall,
a lot of them are really good these days. They don't even put the bad ones on there anymore.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Because Simon isn't there to rip them down anymore.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's important because I think, I love the phrase, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets into church and gets a chance to sing. And you know what? It's just about stepping out and doing it. And most people find they're way better than they really think, or way better than they give themselves credit for. And you have definitely found that out and been able to do amazing things. And I'm just thankful to be your friend and to see your journey, because it's been a lot of fun.
Thanks. I appreciate that. And, I think too, for everybody listening, sometimes the thing that we're holding back, sometimes I like to say, sometimes the thing we're muting is the thing that we're meant to be known for. So I held back the singing thing for so long. And a month ago, I had posted a video of me singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow at an event where it was totally impromptu. It was 10 o'clock at night at a gala. And there was a lull between when the band was going to be ready to play and after the performer before him, like a mentalist, performed. And this woman goes, hey, Rachel, where's Rachel? And I was like, what? I wasn't prepared to sing right now. And so then I got called and I said, yes, you get courage and confidence, the byproduct of action. I said, yes, I hadn't warmed up. I wasn't ready. I had to sing an a cappella. And I just said, yes. And I did it. And they filmed it. And I posted it on LinkedIn, and somebody reached out to me I've never talked to before. And he said, we were looking for a keynote speaker for our event. Our theme is around amplifying voices. I don't even know how I stumbled upon your content, but you are the perfect fit for what we're doing. And I've had multiple people that have hired me because they saw a video of me singing online and they said, oh, that would be such a great fit for our event. So just imagine, I think to myself, how much revenue would I have missed out on if I had muted myself? So it's literally, my voice has literally, singing has literally made me money in my business and giving me more opportunities to do what I love.
Well, and I think that's just it. You got to be willing to put things out there. And I've always been, what you just said, saying yes and stepping forward. I've always been the kind of person that goes on the offense. I don't give myself time to think and worry about it. If someone says to me, sing, I'll step up and say, yes, I'm going to start singing, right? Yeah. I'm just going to go right into it, because that doesn't give me time to worry about it or think, whether I should or not, or all those kind of things. Yeah. And I think you have gotten to that point with all that you're doing, how you've integrated the singing with your keynotes. I just love all that. Thanks. Give everybody just a little bit of practical information. If they want to hire you as a keynote, if they want to hear you sing more, what can they do?
Well, you can find all of my music wherever you stream music. So Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube, just search, and it's under Rachel Druckenmiller. People ask me, what is it under? I'm like, my name is weird enough. Like I don't need a stage name. So it's Rachel Druckenmiller. You find all my songs. And then my website is racheldruckenmiller.com, and you can contact me there or send me a DM through LinkedIn. I love doing this work, and I love working with people all over the world to do it. It's so fun. And I know that it's what I'm meant to be doing. So it feels very fulfilling.
That's awesome. How do people get in touch with you too?
Yeah. So I would say both places. So LinkedIn, Instagram, I'm at Unmuted Life on Instagram. Again, my website is racheldruckenmiller.com, DRUCK. Usually people think it's drunken. I'm like, it's Drucken. Rachel Druckenmiller. And Phil, so good to see you. So good to see you, Phil.
I think sometimes I still, even though I know that, I still say it wrong because it just comes out like Druckenmiller sometimes.
I know. It's fine. People that have known me for like a decade still.
Oh my goodness. I know. Well, yes. I always, my wife, I joked, I always use my brain tumor as an excuse, but they got the brain tumor. It's gone now. So I can't use that as an excuse anymore. But okay, so we're going to go out with you singing the song of your choice.
Okay.
Well, we're not going to totally go out. We're going to have you sing and then we're going to go out, but we're going to end it with that. So you pick and sing us the song. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't I do the one that's coming up? This is going to be released later this month. You will find it on all streaming platforms. And I will just quickly say, when I was a kid, this was my favorite movie growing up. This was my absolute favorite movie as a child. I watched it more times than I could count, and I do not like to rewatch movies. And it happens to be back in the zeitgeist again because of Wicked. So here we go. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and to wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why? Then why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
Woo! And the crowd goes wild. That was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And for everybody that is interested, go to rachelDruckenmiller.com for more information, and all of her music is available. In fact, Rachel, if we miss anything, put it in the comments to make sure we have it all here.
Okay.
And make sure we have all that information there. But what a blessing to have you here today. And thanks so much for being here. I'm going to send you out to the green room real quick and say goodbye, but hang tight for just a sec. All right.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks,
Russ.
Russ.
Thank you. What a blessing. Oh my goodness. This is the best way for me to catch up with my friends is do live streams and bring them on because everybody's so busy. It's the best way to get everybody together. So it's so great to have Rachel here today. So thankful for all of you here today. Just want to say thank you to our sponsors. And we're going to pull this off. There we go. Michelle Martin Farmer, the Oaks of Lebanon, the aspects of aging. Make sure and check them out. Also, we are listener supported. You can hit the QR code or the link in the comments. We'd love for you to do that as well. We will be back this Thursday. Remember, we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. That's right. After we go live, this sits on the platforms as a video podcast. Then it is becomes an audio podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever you like to listen to. If you don't have time to watch, you can listen as you jog, cook dinner, whatever you like to listen doing. And we'd love for you to be part of that. Please comment, say hi. If you're watching on replay, please put hashtag Team Replay and tell us hi. Share this with your friends. We'd appreciate it. And until next week, have a blessed and amazing week. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.